Women have been misrepresented and underrepresented in media throughout history. This especially has been found in the work of movies. Women are made to be sexual objects to be used at the will of men, who tend to be the main protagonists of movies. This is a classic example of symbolic annihilation. Symbolic annihilation is the systematic underrepresentation and misrepresentation of women and minorities in media. Thankfully, something called the Bechdel Test has brought further attention to the unequal content representation found in movies. As the world becomes more progressive and women and minorities become more vocal, this problem has been slowly dissipating.
The final product of media production is content. Content is what we experience on a daily basis as media producers communicate their messages to us. Using content analysis to evaluate these messages allows us to take a look at how these messages are being delivered to the audience. A content analysis is a quantitative analysis of media messages on a specific sample.
The Bechdel test was first created by cartoon artist Alison Bechdel in her cartoon strip Dykes to Watch Out For in 1985. The Bechdel test is a test for media content, specifically looking at the role of women. There are 3 components in order to pass this test. First, the film must have 2 named women. Next, the women must converse with each other. And lastly, they must talk about something other than a man. Given these 3 components, it is surprising how many movies in the media still fail to meet this criteria.
Using the Bechdel test, we will be looking at the Oscar nominations for Best Picture for 2015 and 2016. Of the 8 films nominated in 2015, only half passed the Bechdel test. American Sniper, The Grand Budapest Hotel, Imitation Game, and Whiplash did not pass. These 4 movies failed due to the fact that the women in the movies never interacted with each other, or the movies didn't have at least 2 named female characters. This demonstrates a serious lack of women in influential roles in films that are intended to show the best the movie industry has to offer. How hard can it be to have women in conversing prominent roles, considering their sizable role in society at large?
In 2016, we can see improvement on this front as 5 of the 8 films passed the Bechdel test. While this demonstrates some improvement, there's still a long way to go for women in media. This leads us to symbolic annihilation, the process of trivializing, victimizing, or sensationalizing women and minorities in media. In many cases, these Oscar nominees are not void of women characters, rather they treat them as secondary characters not important enough to even give names to. An example of this in recent times is The Revenant, a film exemplifying the lack of presence of women in modern media and the dominance of male roles.
While things are improving when it comes to the role of women in media, it is certainly a slow process as it stands. The content that we consume on a daily basis relays to us media messages created by media producers. These messages are delivered in a number of different ways through many different channels. The delivery methods used, whether they be characters, voiceovers, or even pictures, contribute to the audience's perception of society. The symbolic annihilation of particular groups may always exist, but it is up to us to change this demeaning practice in media content.